What's up, y'all? I'm Alan Hain, the Lawn Care Nut. Thanks for coming back for yet another week. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but it is gray here. That's really rare for Florida, especially this time of year. But it's actually gray and rainy. It's 52 degrees and balmy. It's just not pleasant out here. I realize a lot of you guys would love to have 52 degrees and balmy, but it's bad for us Floridians. So with that, I've got no growth in the lawn. I got nothing happen because we've had a lot of hardcore low temperatures. I say hardcore, 40s at night, low 40s at night, even almost into the 30s one night, which is really, really cold for us here. So everything has just stopped. And then we also had some really nasty wind one night. I'll show you, I actually lost a palm on the other side. But I figured it would still be a good idea to let's check some soil temps. And I actually got a new soil thermometer we'll talk about, not sponsored. I purchased it on Amazon, like 12 bucks, whatever. But I figure what we do is we'll talk about some more soil temp stuff, because that's kind of where I've started taking the direction of the content. If you're not understanding what I'm talking about, you need to make sure that you get onto my free email list. So either way, I wanted to start firing this back up again. We are starting back up with the weekly emails. I was getting people tweeting me saying, Alan, where are your emails? I miss your weekly emails. Yes, I have a free email that goes out every single week. And what that email is it's kind of a compilation of the most frequently asked questions from the week before. Those questions come from our Facebook group. They come into me in email. I get them in YouTube comments. I get them on Twitter. If you click on the link in the description below, you can check out where that email is. You just give us your email address. Bing, bang, boom. We'll send out a weekly email to you, and I know that it's going to help you, and it will also serve as a supplement to these videos here. Now, another place to get real-time tips, and when I say real-time tips, I mean lawns across America, is going to be at my new podcast. It's launching the first week of February. February 7th, I think, is that Thursday. It's going to be an every Thursday podcast. I'll link in the description below to it on iTunes, Spotify, and of course, like everybody else copying Joe Rogan, I also have it here on YouTube. All right, so I guess next, let's just test some soil temperatures. If you remember last week in the video I tested, and I actually had soil temps right around 65, even closer into the shade. Now, again, let's see what's happened to my soil here with all of these low temps that we've had the last week. So make sure you let it sit in the soil for a good 15 seconds or so to really take, but you can see we're at 59 degrees and we were at 65 just last week before the cold spell. So we have seen some soil temperature fluctuations here. You guys will remember last week I showed you this one right here, and I told you it's kind of a pain in the butt to calibrate it because it can move. You know, it's got this nut here, and as you move that nut, it actually adjusts where the dial is there. So you have to kind of, I'll show you at the end of this video the best way to calibrate one of these. And I like them because I just like the visual old school look to it. But again, they can come out of calibration, so it's like you need to recalibrate it every so often. So, but either way, let's put it in here, and we'll use this one here to calibrate this one. So a couple things to notice from that. First is obviously, so my calibration on this manual one is pretty good. I will show you how to calibrate it later on at the end of this video. This one just works fine too. I mean, again, we're taking soil readings, soil temperature readings at about the 3-inch depth. And we're doing that because that is gonna be our sign to put down our first application of pre-emergent. When the soil starts to near 55 degrees. Now don't look at what I'm getting here. I'm in South Florida. My temps are much higher than yours, but anywhere else, start looking at your soil temps. And when you notice them starting to come up to 55 or get approaching 55, that's when you want to put down your first application of pre-emergent. And so what we're illustrating here is you know, last week my soil temp was 65, this week it's 55. Again, don't worry about the numbers. Understand that that changed, that this temperature fluctuation changed the soil temperature. So you guys that are up north or somewhere, you know, in the transition zone, when you're about to hit 55, you might get cold zaps that bring you back down again. All of that is fine. You just want to be somewhere close to the window. And that's why we also have an online tool that you can use to really give you a target date. And I recommend you write that target date down. All right, look, I'm just going to show you this. I threw this out to Josh and his team on Friday, just like a hardcore drawing, and they came back with this, and this is perfect. This is in the warm season plan book. It'll be in the cool season too. This is warm season. Cool season, yours is slightly different. But I'm going to go ahead and give this out to y'all for free because I just think it's a good value for you. We'll put it in the Facebook group, and I'll send it out in the email Tuesday as well. But look at this. I mean, to me, this is smart, right? Feel free to screenshot this too if you want. But we got our different zones here, and we can talk about biostem zone and FERT zone. But over here, you're going to notice the temperature milestones, right? Soil temp milestones, 55, 65, 70. That's our spring pre-emergent zone. And then we got another fall one, which we're going to talk about a little bit for Poa annua. And then what you've got over here is what you do here is you write down your temperatures. You use the Greencast tool, which I'll link in the description below, and you look at the average time when you hit 55 in your area, when do you hit 65, and you write those dates down. and now you have a target. Now, you can use those targets and you can use those for your application dates. Remember, you want to precede the 55 and precede the 70 by a week or two. But the idea is you can use what you have over here as averages, or if you do want to take real soil temps, if you have the soil probe like I do, you can take your own real-time temps and compare the real-time temps to the average temps, and you can really dial in a super good strategy for a pre-emergent this year in the spring and the fall. And that's why we're going to talk about split apps here too. Okay, enough soil temperature talk. I know you guys are going to get tired of that. You shouldn't though, because it's important. So with that though, I've got to actually run out to, I'm going to go to Lowe's this time and get some stuff there. And I figure what we'll do is we'll go and look at some of the fertilizer that they've got on the shelf right now, especially when it relates to pre-emergents, because as you guys know, I always tell you, you don't have to buy stuff from me. I don't care what you do. Just get the stuff down, right? So with that, let's go see if they have any decent pre-emergents over there, or pre-emergents that we could use. I shouldn't say decent, because it's not like there's anything bad over there, but let's just go over there and see what they have, and let's look at the pricing of it, and you know, just have a little fun. This is a product I like actually for St. Augustine grass, Bonus S. This one gets my seal of approval because the weed control is a post and pre-emergent. See, it's got concentration of atrazine, which is a great weed control for this time of year. So let's do a little comparison there. 48 bucks. This is a 10,000 square foot bag. Again, because there's a weed control in here, you can't dial the rate up or down. You have to stick with what they say. Here's a Sunnyland, which is the same thing as that Scott's we just looked at, but it's a smaller. This is a 20 pound, 2006. So we'll do a little comparison there. 5,000 square feet. Atrazine weed control is on par, that's the same. So we'll do some math on that, and the cost is $16.98. Either one of those would be good product. We'll just look at the cost difference. Oh, here's the Bonus S and a smaller one, so we can look at the price. So this Bonus S here is covers 5,000. And again, just to reiterate, that one we looked at there and that one there, these are for St. Aug and Centipede, but St. Aug especially. This one also does list all of the micros. Boron, there's one I've never seen before. Everybody always wants to know if they should get boron. Well, there you go. Iron for sure. So this one has some micros on board here. This is an interesting product here. Stay Green. It's called CrabX, and it's dithiopyr. So that's pretty awesome. It's a very good. So it's dithiopyr. You're not going to be able to read it, I don't think. And this is 10 pounds, covers 5,000 square feet. So then we have a 2 pounds per 1,000 square foot app rate. That's going to be hard to do with a homeowner spreader. That's a low app rate, but still, this is an intriguing product. I bet if you look at the back, I bet you could probably do a 4 pounds per 1,000 app if you want. I bet you this is just their bag rate, but I bet you there's others. Let's just see. Yeah, there you go. Right there. I don't see a price for that though, because this is for that stuff down there. Here's a Weed Stop crabgrass preventer. This one's dithiopyr, 2,4-D, dicamba. Oh, that's interesting. So it's a pre-emergent and a post-emergent all together. That's kind of interesting. Probably not something I would use because I don't like broadcast post-emergent weed control, but interesting product though for somebody that was getting started maybe a little late, especially because it's dithiopyr. So it's a 10.8 pound bag, covers 3,000 square feet. So we'll do a little math on that for 14 bucks. So after my Lowe's visit, I stopped over here by the Publix. I had to pick up some stuff for our little experiment later. But I wanted to just reiterate one thing, and I stopped here to do this so I don't forget to say this. Listen, I don't want to stress you guys out over the soil temp thing. That's, again, if you're striving to just, you know, have a little fun and do a little extra. Just think about this. When I worked for True Green, I worked in the south side of Chicago, and if we were lucky, we would get out with our round one, which round one always had Prodiamine in it, and it was granular because of the chance of freezing and stuff. But we would always get out, if we were lucky, second week in March. But typically it may have been the third or even fourth week in March. Any time later than that, we were panicking. But we would keep round one open from the middle of March, you know, all the way through like the end of April, and all of those people are getting their round one pre-emergent. So I don't want you to, and that's a pretty long window, so I don't want you to think that there's, you know, this, if you miss it, you're out. No, get in there and do the best you can. I'm just trying to arm you with the best knowledge that I can so that you're going to have a better chance. And also keep in mind, you have an advantage over a professional company like a True Green because they have so many customers to get to. They can't get to them all on the ideal perfect day or even within the ideal perfect week. It takes them, if they're a big branch, I mean, the branch I ran was $7 million. I think we had 14 or 15,000 customers, 17,000. The number grows every year in my head, but definitely a lot of customers. There was no way, even with 30 routes, that we were going to get to all of those people in the ideal window, but we did the best we could to get to them within the best possible window. The other thing is, you got to realize, a company like True Green, they're not going to put something down that's not effective, right? So keep in mind, their window's a little bit longer than yours because it's just getting to all their customers, and they're still applying because they're still getting some control. Because the last thing you need to realize is not every crabgrass seed in your lawn is going to germinate at exactly 55. They germinate all the way up through, and they even get to really party time at another temperature. Can you guys guess what that third temperature is? All right, y'all, thanks for watching this video. I know I got a little bit into the math, I got a little heavy on it, but you guys know I like to do that because I really do want you to get it. I want you to understand the why behind what you're doing. I mean, anybody can get up there and tell you, you know, throw this down right now. But I mean it when I say it's very important for you to learn how to make a proper application. No matter what you're doing, the biggest reason for failure is an improper application. So understanding not only what to put down and when to put it down, but how to put it down, and understanding the why behind that. Why do we put it down this way? So that's why I really do want you to understand all the why behind it so that you can make your own decisions. And if you just want to go to Lowe's like that and pick stuff up, you certainly can. You can still get really good results. Stay tuned right after this and I'll show you how to properly calibrate that AccuRite soil thermometer if you want to get one. So with that, I want to wish you a happy almost February. I'm Alan Hain, the Lawn Care Nut. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the lawn. All right, y'all. Now, before we go into this method here on how to calibrate this analog soil thermometer here, let me just say I realize it's a few degrees off already. We noticed that earlier today. I said it was on. It's not. It's like 2 or 3 degrees off, so that's one of the reasons to calibrate it. The other thing is, I do want to remind you, before you do this, and I'm very serious about the way this works, it works very well, but before you do this, please make sure that your entire probe from tip all the way through the shaft is sterilized. You don't want to put this dirty shaft into what I'm about to show you, so just always be mindful of sterilization and being clean. Also, I know this is here. This is here because I did a full other video today, which I'm going to start editing tonight. And in that video, I put to rest what it means to have a split app. We're going to use the water dispersible granule rates here because, you know, why not? Why not talk about something a little funky fresh, something a little bit different? But I'll clue you in on what's important here when it comes to a split app, and it's this little pretty graph right over here. See that thing? Looks like some bars going across there. Yeah, that's really the key to the whole thing. So let's get into this. Okay, so let me show you in case it's not clear. What you do here to adjust this dial, see this nut back here, when you actually start twisting on this nut, it moves that red dial, see? And so that just puts you off on what your temperature is, right? So you have to find the baseline. You have to find out, like, how do I know if I'm even right before I start, right? So now I'm really off. So that's good. I have no idea where I am, but reading outside air temp of 62, this is definitely off. So, because we're in the 50s out here in the garage. So, and you know, you can see, look, when I put my hands around it, you'll see it move. See it going up? So that's pretty cool. I mean, I like that visual that you get on that. And one thing you can do is stick this in your armpit and let it go up to 98.6 or whatever humans are. That's probably one way you could do this, but I haven't had much luck with that because I think my blood runs cold being I'm in Floridian here. I'm cold-blooded. But anyway, so let me show you though how you would go ahead then and calibrate this to know if it's right. And again, we got the digital. What did I do with the digital? Right here. So of course we have the digital, and you saw earlier I just stick the digital in and then I can stick this one in next to it and then just adjust it. But what if you don't have one of these? Then what do you do? Rule number 1, you want a thin, lighter, tastier beer and not a real heavy, viscous beer like this. It needs to be Nice, light, crisp, and refreshing. You want to get it right out of the fridge. As cold as the fridge will get it. And then you want to drop it in the freezer. Down by the tater tots. So see how you can still hear the liquid? That means it's not ready yet. I think we're ready. Okay, so we're here. It may have taken a little bit longer to get to this point than I had expected, but we're here. So you're gonna know that this is ready when you can shake it and you don't hear anything. Now I gotta turn this microphone around because of the way this works. You're not hearing anything. Now you want to hit that point close. You don't want it to go over. So if this starts to bulge, you're too long. So you really got to monitor this. Like I can feel this. I can still push in on it a little bit and it's good, but I got no sound in here. So this is just right. So now we can calibrate this. Yes, that's what you want. It's like a slush. What you want is you want to see this go to 33, 32, right in there. So you can see it's a little off, see? Off by a few degrees. You gotta give it time too. You gotta give it time. Give it time. Captain, it's starting to bubble. She'll be alright. Resume testing. Okay. Alright, just be patient with it. It really should be at 30, like 33, and it's at 28, so it's off by like 5. It's not that bad. Don't thumbs down me. I'm just having fun. A cold Sunday night here. So dial her up to, I need my glasses. 30. Is that 33? Right there. Okay. So there we go. So now this should be calibrated correctly. Yeah, that's 33. Now, let's test it and see if we're right. What do we got? 32. Oh, uh-oh. What happened? Is that as cold as it goes? Maybe I have it down in there too deep. Let me hold it out a little bit. Oh, it shut off again. All right, well. Captain, testing is inconclusive. Time for bed.